Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something, I've observed over time, and it's something I've even heard Dave Tate say in the past. And you can say whatever you want about Dave Tate, you can say whatever you want, but what you can't say is that the man is not a great and successful strength coach, okay? So his experience, again, if he is speaking from personal experience, you would probably be wise to listen to it. It would be a good idea. And, he had said in his experience, he never sees his lifters get hurt doing 1 rep maxes, outside of competition. He's seen a lot of people get hurt on 3 rep maxes, on 5 rep maxes. It doesn't really happen in the gym on 1 rep maxes under people he is coaching directly. Okay? I want to talk about that for a minute because people have these ideas are like, well, we could do rep work close to failure, because that's what a 3 rep or a 5 rep max is basically taking a work set close to failure or to failure. That's what you are actually doing. All right. People actually seem to think that for some reason, because they're using slightly less weight, that it's safer, because if your max is 600 pounds, doing a triple with 550 is a lightweight, so it's much safer, right? Because there's no chance you're ever going to get hurt with 550 if your lift is 600. Oh, better yet, do 5 with, 530, right? Because it's 70 pounds less. And here's the problem with that logic. When we do a 1 rep max, we ramp up to a 1 rep max, what usually happens? We're tight, we're focused, okay? When you miss a 1 rep max, if you know how to perform the lift, and you're tight and you have any idea what you're doing, where does the weight go when you miss? Now, again, I'm not talking about when you add equipment. Obviously, things like knee wraps are notorious for ripping shit off the bone, right? If you care about injuries, you don't wear knee wraps. That's another thing. Right? You want to be in a knee wraps division, you're going for glory. You don't care about injuries because knee wraps hurt you. It's been my experience. I almost never see squat injuries on raw squatters on a max. It's always with knee wraps. But we set the knee wraps aside. Let's say you're not going just for glory with no concern for, things that you can't have reattached. If you have a surgeon who cares, right? Put knee wraps on. Bucket. They can reattach whatever rips off and do a little rehab, you're good. For everyone else, you're going raw. All right, when you do a squat, where does the weight go? On a max, it goes straight down. If you miss a 1 rep max, it tends to just give out. You go straight down. Either the safeties catch it, the spotters catch it, if you're at a gym working with a team. But you put safety arms or safety chains. That's what we always use. We set them to catch the weight. Be intelligent about it. You tend to go straight down. Nothing gets pulled out of alignment because you're tight. You're focused on doing the 1 rep and pushing as hard as you can. Very simple. It's true of the other lifts too. What happens when you miss a 3 rep max or a 5 rep max? What happens? You're fatigued. Form degrades with multiple heavy reps. Anyone ever notice that? As you accumulate reps on really, really heavy weights that are close to limit sets. And this is true even of 8s and 10s. It looks the same. Missing a 5 rep set looks just like missing a 10 rep set. What happens? Your back gives out. Your chest caves. Okay, your chest caves. You don't always go straight down. Which way do you go? You get pitched forward. All right? You get pitched forward. When you fail from fatigue, not due to just not being strong enough to do the single, you get loose with subsequent reps because you're getting tired. By that 3rd rep, by that 5th rep, fatigue is accumulating. You start leaning forward. You start getting loose. You lose your brace in your core, right? Because there's a cardiovascular component. It gets hard to hold that breath if your conditioning isn't amazing. What happens? Your chest caves. You get pitched forward. You put shear stress on your back. Now, let me ask you guys a simple question. If your max squat is 500 and your 3 rep max is 450 and you miss 450, which one is more likely to hurt you? Missing 500 going straight down to the safeties? Worst case, you'll strain a quad a little bit, unless you got knee wraps on, in which case you might tear the quad. But you don't have on knee wraps. You're doing it raw. You go straight down, you might at worst strain a quad. And that's a worst case. Not even saying that's going to happen. It won't most of the time. 99% of the time, 95% of the time, you won't even pull a quad. If you set the safeties correctly, right? Versus getting pitched forward with 450. Even if your max is 500, you get pitched forward with 450 and a good mornings to the pins. Looks like a squat morning when you'd fail. Way more likely to get hurt. Bench press, same thing. Mention bench press. When you fail a true 1 rep max bench press, what happens? You saw where Michelle just kind of stuck right there. Had she added gone 10 pounds heavier and missed, she would have stuck right there. Bar would have come straight down to her chest. She can hit the safeties or a spotter grabs it. Almost nothing gets hurt. When you start fatiguing, what happens to the bar? It starts drifting further up towards your face. What happens when you miss from fatigue? You get it off your chest, maybe use some leg drive, you heave a little bit because you got tired, you get the bar up and then it drifts way towards the face. You dump it higher on your chest. Way higher on your chest. You miss it there, what happens? Your shoulders are now put at a bad angle. You lost tightness because of the fatigue. You get sloppy. Okay? Deadlifts. You miss a 1 rep max deadlift, what happens? It just goes straight down or you turn loose of it. When you get fatigued, what do we see? You start squatting the bar more. You get angry again. You lose your focus by that 3rd or 5th or 6th rep. If it gets squirrely on you, what happens? You're going to tend to try to dig in and get those last reps. You're going to tend to bend your arms more. You're going to jerk the weight up more. And it's going to happen with fatigue. If you're really doing a 3 rep or a 5 rep max, then what happens? You're pulling with arm bend. Well, if your max is 550, you don't think arm bend with 500 can rip a bicep? I've seen a guy rip a bicep with bad technique with 500 who could pull 630. Required surgery. He never got hurt lifting over 600. Tore a bicep with 500 doing rep work. Got sloppy. Or we start fishing pulling the lifts, puts shear stress on the lumbar more. What happens when you miss? Then you strain your back. All right, you are more likely to get hurt on rep maxes than from heavy singles because you're still using heavy weight. And things go bad when you get fatigued. You lose your focus, you lose your tightness, you lose your bracing. Okay, your form gets sloppy when you miss from fatigue. You get hurt easier. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.